Welcome to the Southern U Podcast, brought to you by Darton Archery on the OKest Podcast Network, with your co-host, Matt Brock, Jeremy Ferguson, and Taylor McMurtry. If you're looking for all things land-related in the Southeast, you came to the right place. Whether it's real estate, habitat, wildlife, or just being outdoors, this is the place for you. Welcome to the Southern U. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Southern U Podcast, where we talk all things land related. If this is your first time here, or if you've been with us for a while, we talk real estate, timber, ag, hunting, everything in between. If it has to do with land, we'll probably talk about it. Joined to the man to my left here, Mr. Jeremy Ferguson.
What's happening?
What's up, man? How's real estate going?
Busy.
Busy?
Very busy. Not just, for my personal part of the business, being an agent, but I think I've got now 10 agents that are working with me out of the office. So
Gville office, baby.
Yeah, Gville Tut Land Company office, and that keeps me really busy. Not gonna lie. Along with all the consulting, and that seems to have picked up more so than it had been there for a little while. So, today you can see I'm in camo. The rare day that I get to slip off and go do a little hunting, me and Uncle Corey slid to a client's place in Jackson County and hunted birds that don't exist, apparently, or at least
we slid right out.
Yeah,
it's gonna make a funny joke about just a talking head floating around there. Couldn't even see, man.
So no, man, it's good. Just busy time of year.
Yeah, for sure. And we have I keep saying a special guest. I mean, he's kind of just here now.
Yeah.
We got Uncle Corey / also known as his actual birth name, Cody Green, another fellow biologist that puts up with Jeremy more times than he'd like to, I guess.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Corey, where the birds at, man?
Man, I'm telling you, they in the woods.
We know where they are, but they were not. Not today.
I know where some are.
Yeah.
I know where they all are.
No, we know where some.
I know where a lot of them are. In somebody's septic tank.
Yeah,
because that done killed them and ate them, not me. Of course, we haven't been hunting for us, but
no, we came out of the gate hot the first 2 days.
Yeah, I'm about to say they killed. I haven't put the video together yet, y'all, but they killed birds opening day and then second day. So back to back.
And it starting after that, our goal was to get some other people on birds. So today,
Bray.
Yeah, we didn't have any until today. We have
not hunted.
And take back. I went burn a piece of property over in West Alabama, and I hunted the lease this weekend, and that was hunting by myself on that, but it was a disaster.
Since the second day of season, today's the first day I've been in the woods with a gun.
Yeah.
I've been with a camera and with calls.
Yeah, with full blown gear, me and Jeremy and a camera, and me and him are going to go kill turkeys. Today was the first day.
Yeah,
since the first day of season.
Yeah, sorry.
And we are, I won't say licking wounds. I mean, we got our butt kicked.
No,
there wasn't nothing to get there to kick our butt.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a relatively small property, but it's unpressured,
easy
for the most part.
Easy.
Now, obviously, with small property, you've got borders and neighbors.
It does border the
it does border the WMA up there.
So I'm having my suspicions.
Yeah, there could be a little slipping going on. You know,
Birds are disappearing.
it's gotten real popular to fence hop these days for some reason.
Yeah.
And
We definitely aren't.
we've been dealing with it. Well, over at our lease, in 2 days of hunting, we dealt with a poacher. We dealt with hunter harassment.
Multiple poachers.
Yeah, and then for the love of God, people, just because a bird gobbles don't mean you got to blow the crow call at him.
Yeah.
It's
like,
but I like to.
I mean, hey, if your sole goal is to wake up in the morning and go, hey, man, you know what? Let's get this pot of coffee going, brother. We're going to go listen to him gobble all day. More power to you. Do it right after the season ends. Please stop doing it. Why? Some of us are out there on the day or two we've got time to go and are actually wanting to harvest a bird and cook it. So, yeah. I mean,
look, it
you see
sounds
my
like
eyes, I'm exhausted.
it sounds like we're trying to control our neighbors, and that's not it. It's just very frustrating.
Well, it's not just neighbors; it's
when
everywhere.
When your neighbor or whoever's on your neighboring property is on the property line blowing the crow call every other breath, and the bird's on our property, and somehow that crow call, gets closer and closer and closer, and we're like, yeah, okay. So, but look, game wardens are on it, but you're not going to catch turkey poachers most of the time.
Bordered by 4 different property owners or leases, or 5?
Only 4.
Okay. And every single one of those properties has had somebody almost every time, and we've been 4 times maybe. Mm-hmm. Every time somebody has they've done something to screw the hunt up intentionally.
That's happened multiple times.
Just hands down, straight up screaming, owling like a 3-year-old. I'm talking about if they really think they sound like an owl.
Yeah,
they need to go
and look,
seek help.
We were sitting on 2 birds gobbling, and you never know if the birds are going to come in or not. You never know that you're going to kill these birds, but these birds were working. They were doing what we needed them to do. They were coming, and we were 150-ish yards, maybe a little further, onto our property. And obviously the neighbor could hear us calling and hearing the birds gobbling. So they start calling at the birds from the porch, mind you. That don't work because I'm sure they could actually see the birds working up where they were coming. So when that doesn't work, they dump around 100 rounds of ammunition.
He's not
just
lying.
just pow, 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 just dump an AR and a pistol into either just straight into the ground or water. What it sounded like.
It sounded like they were shooting into a pond at first.
Yeah, and then obviously birds shut up then.
Yeah.
At first, I just thought
they
were shooting, and then it finally became apparent that they were.
Yeah,
they had an MO. They were trying to force them to hush,
and they did.
Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah, we got back on them.
Just about killed them, but just about don't eat good.
No, it don't. That's right. Quote of the show right there, just about don't eat good. But yeah, I've not. The only time I've been in the turkey woods so far is to run a camera. and we were close. I thought it was going to happen. I may have not. I might not have been able to actually get the shot on film if it had all worked out, but we laid eyes on one, and he was within 60 yards anyways.
Oh yeah, he's about 50.
50 for
50.
sure.
He was killing distance with a 20 gauge with TSS these days,
and
I had a clear view. I mean, I'm watching him do his thing. I mean, he's strutting, he's gobbling, he's peeking up, looking to see what's going on, and Lord help, just the wrong angle behind a blowdown for Bray, and I'm sitting there just kind of chomping my teeth,
Talking about T-shirts, y'all need to get one made for her or something clever. Cursed something.
I know. We're not throwing her under the bus or trying to beat her up. It's just it really is unbelievable.
If it can go wrong, it seems like
it has.
Yeah, and I've been
like in that we're going to talk about that scenario a little bit later on.
I think I've been taking her for 10 years. and
Matt,
not a lot, but when I would come home from Texas, I'd go grab her and run her up somewhere, and it just seemed like every time we got to go, it was just like.
And she's been with Matt numerous times, and now I've carried her a time or two. Cody and I primarily together when she's been going, but I think, you and I went with her the other day, and I think I've carried her once, just running the camera. But yeah, if it can go wrong, it has gone wrong for her. Yep. And look, I've been there. I'm there on deer. If it can go wrong with deer, it does to me. Well, it just does.
That's exactly what I told her. She was like, when we were kind of packing up and getting ready, she was like, "Hey, seriously, like, am I doing something wrong?" And we were both like, I said, "Look, me trying to kill a deer with a bow for the first time, like it took years, and it took multiple encounters, and like just to get to a screw up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get to a place where like if you shoot and miss, that's my fault. And I would just be like, Lord, please. Like, I just want it to be my fault. Like, I want to fling an arrow at one and be like, God, I had the wrong yardage, or I panicked and whatever. I couldn't get one in front of me, you know? Yeah. And so I'm like, look, I get it, you know? And then you finally get that opportunity, then you screw it up a couple times, you know? And it's like, I just wanted that. I just wanted to have the chance to screw up, you know?
That's all part of it, though, is screwing up.
It is. Look, that's the fun part of turkey. Like, screwing up on a deer pisses me off.
Oh, it does.
But screwing up on turkeys, it's still fun because normal. you're yes, it happens so much. Yeah. It's just it becomes comical once you're able to start killing a few. Yeah. When you mess it up and you know you messed it up, you just can't help but just kind of laugh at yourself.
The key word there is when you've killed a few. Yeah. Because it's not funny until like at all. It's not funny at all. Bray if Bray's sitting here, she would be going, "No, it's not fun."
Well, I tell you one thing that I'll criticize her on.
Oh no!
Hot take. Where's it at, Taylor?
Yeah.
There you go.
Bray, you got to pull the trigger. Okay.
No, she's just doing things ethically.
That's right. Yep.
Well,
she's also now. She's also wanting to do it a certain way too.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean. She's like, I'm not sitting in a ground blind
with decoys.
Oh, with decoys in a food plot. I ain't doing it like that. You know. So like, hey,
she wants a legitimate. Yeah. Call him up. Interaction, kill the bird. She don't want a deer hunt one.
That's right.
And I am A-okay.
Yeah, I am
I'll
too.
Chase turkeys to the end of the earth.
You got to understand, like
sometimes you just got to break it though.
Being a turkey killer, sometimes it's like, hey, we're not.
We're gonna take what we can get.
We're not the truth about hunting. Will Primo's here. It don't have to be. If that bird is 35 yards and he's behind a log, raise up and shoot that son of a gun. Don't expect him to strut out the end and get in the sunshine and look all pretty.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, even I'm guilty on occasion of being so paranoid about boogering them that I don't want to move enough to make it happen. And but look, that's just something you kind of got to get over.
Uncle Corey had you moving this morning, didn't he? Huh? So Uncle Corey had you moving this morning, didn't he?
Hey, son.
What little chance we had on a bird was like.
Yeah, we're doing the Comanche sneak on them things.
Gotta go.
That son of a gun was. He ain't my favorite right now.
No.
Well, to get to the topic, obviously we're talking turkey stuff. We just kind of named this one spring things. There's a lot of different things going on right now in the world of habitat, not aside from just trying to shoot turkeys. But so we're going to talk about nutrition and maybe some habitat stuff, and then maybe some turkey tactics, things along the way too. So I guess I keep forgetting to do this. This is like a staple we did on the show, and then I forgot it. But have y'all got shout outs or anything you want to throw to or at anyone?
Well, this is a broad one, but I want to throw a shout out to all the PSPs on the Habitat Network.
That's
the
right.
number of phone calls I've been getting from some of these guys is almost endless. But a lot of good things happening. I appreciate those folks, those guys and gals working with us and reaching out and trying to help grow that side of things. It's been fun. And it's growing quickly.
No doubt. Yeah, it's cool, man. We're getting people asking questions and inquiring about either being a professional or getting professionals help and that sort of stuff, which is why we made this thing. So
y'all know I'm far from the least serious of anybody on earth, especially in this group of. I'd like to give a shout out to all the crow call makers and say thank you for what you've done for the turkey hunting industry. It's been helping us all out a lot. And Eddie Salter for teaching everybody to hoot at a turkey. Yeah, because I'm telling you what, I'm far from the best turkey hooter in the world. I assure you. But that ain't really.
Was it me, you, and Bray, or is it just the other morning when I carried her that the guy was walking down the line hollering because he couldn't hoot?
Oh, I've heard that.
So it was just
hey,
us.
I can respect that. If you can't hoot, just go. And that's better than going.
Yeah, this guy. I mean, I got plumb tickled. He just go down through there and go, try not to blow everybody's ear. Yeah. He go, whoo!
Like so, here comes Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair coming through the woods.
Hey, that could be a thing, man. Ric Flair.
Oh yeah, the Ric Flair call.
Yeah, get the Ric Flair shot gobble.
Yeah,
I guess shout out to Ric Flair, man.
Shout out Ric Flair, man.
That's my whole thing though about hunting in general, especially turkey hunting.
That's gonna make a great reel.
You're supposed to be in the woods, acting like you're not there, or at least a part of nature as mimicking a hen, or if you're deer hunting, mimicking another deer, or you're mimicking a bush.
Yeah, you just don't exist.
You don't walk through the woods going, ha, ha, ooh, every 10 feet. Guess what? That turkey's going to say,
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is, but he didn't come down through here the last 362 days of the year.
Yeah.
We hear some entertaining things in the woods.
Yeah. I say go try it yourself. See how it works out.
Oh, no doubt. Look, we're not putting anybody down at all. Don't want that to come across that way. It's just entertaining. Everybody's got to learn. Look, because Lord knows I'm not the greatest guy on a mouth call. Now, I can run a pot call or anything else, but I don't know. Well, part of it is I don't practice enough.
Yep,
Never have. And then part of it is I just feel like I'm going to choke to death on the darn thing. Our old boy, Leonard Carr, has helped me a bunch, though, the last couple times I've seen him get me squared away on a few little tricks and tips.
Oh, I know. Shout out Paul Campbell. Speaking about mouth calls, I don't know if y'all do this or not, but it's like you try a mouth call and you're like, gosh, I just can't do this. It makes me gag or whatever. And all right, I'm done with that. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Then next season, you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out how to do a mouth call. And he's like, he was telling the story on the podcast a couple of years ago. And it's like every year, it's just like I buy a mouth call and it's just, I just immediately start to gag. I'm like, nope, never mind. But I do it every year.
That's right.
Buy a new one, try it.
It's like, man, I'm still guilty of it. I don't know what it is. It's just, what did we buy the other day? I'm telling you, you daggum turkey call makers that are like out there big time in it. Was it houndstooth?
Yeah,
it was somebody.
The pine top something.
The purple pine top Punisher. The names kill me. If it
we bought them just because of that.
If it cracks me up, You did a great job because I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to sound like absolute garbage.
I actually like that one.
I did too. I'm not calling you calls junk, but half the time you buy them and you're like,
It's marketing,
and,
baby.
and it's just probably the way. That's what a lot of people that don't turkey hunt or call a lot. And I was born with a doggone mouth call in my mouth. A one call that y'all may run may sound great because just the way your mouth's shaped or something,
and the way you push air out your mouth.
Yeah,
naturally.
it's like Leonard said. A lot of people don't realize, just the way you're like when you chew, the air comes out of your mouth on one side or the other. Or like poor old Leonard. Well, hopefully we get him on here. He's a card man. He's got a partial. Yeah. He's like, now take that thing out, and I shout, whoo, whoo. He said, it don't sound exactly the same. He's like, I put my teeth back in, and he goes, nah, that's the way it is. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, man.
So you boys wait till you start losing all your teeth, and it won't sound so good.
God. Yeah, before we move on, need to do the property spotlight.
Yes, yeah, before we forget that, too.
Yeah, so this one's for Mr. Matthew Brock, since he won't come on the Dadgum podcast because he's too busy.
Thanks, Matt.
Killing turkeys,
Yeah. He's got a 340-acre tract in Lamar County that I know the area real well. Phenomenal piece of property. It's got a 1,553-square-foot home and 23 acres that's nearby. But if you're interested in a really, really nice recreational tract over in West Alabama, look us up at tutland.com, pull Matt's agent link up, and the property will be there.
Yep, if you see his ugly mug, you know you found the right list.
That's it. Believe it or not, he's smiling in his
Probably
picture.
holding a turkey.
He probably is, yeah. He probably killed a turkey off of it just to make sure it was, good to go.
Yeah. Y'all, I've killed a bird there the past 10 years in a row.
That's right. Oh, man. All right. Well, we got to jump into these questions. We're going to do this podcast. Going to take forever.
Yeah, I got to get to work.
That's right.
It's work or sleep, one or the other.
All right. So actually a couple of episodes ago, we did like some turkey scenarios where we gave a very specific scenario to these guys and let them kind of give their take on what they would do given the situation.
And apparently we're not allowed to elaborate on that because we ain't killed 400 turkeys.
Yep, that's right. You ain't
Do we want to go on that? Let me take off on that run.
No, we don't. We'll just leave that lay.
Yeah.
So with that kind of same inspiration, I guess, we're going to do something similar, but a little bit different. This is, like I said, spring thing, so we're going to spread it out and talk about several different things. First question here is the quote-unquote right now question. What is the most important thing happening in a turkey's life cycle right now that should change how we hunt or manage habitat?
Right now?
Yeah,
well, I think the most important thing in a gobbler's life is that cloaca.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm trying to keep this PG here,
Yeah,
folks.
that's why I said cloaca.
That's right. Scientifically correct.
Yeah.
Or politically correct, whatever.
Well, I mean, the number one thing, in my opinion, and this is all going to be opinion based, no matter what Corey says or anybody else comments, is what's most important. But to me, the most important thing, and where we have made huge strides in the properties that we manage, are making sure we have nesting and brooding habitat in close proximity to each other. And by close proximity, I mean next to each other, so that we've got a good place for hens to successfully raise a nest and then be able to move short distances to brooding habitat that's got, younger, shorter vegetation, fresh growth, because whether people know it or not, the only thing those poults are eating for the first, 100 days or so, maybe a little longer.
About 100 days.
Is insects.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one thing. Now, somebody else's may be different.
Yeah. Say the question again. I mean, I'm pretty sure I understood it, but it was a little.
Yeah, so what's the most important thing happening in a turkey's life cycle right now that should change how we hunt
turkeys
or
in
habitat?
general.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, late April.
And this will change depending on where you're at.
And just like he basically just hit it right on the head in general there. I mean, if a hen's on the nest, the highest quality nesting habitats you can have is of utmost importance right now. But therein lies, if you don't have high quality brood rearing habitat that they have access to, then it's kind of all for naught. And that's what, a lot of, visiting more and more properties all the time now. Man, almost every landowner asks me, we don't have any birds. What do we need to do? And I tell them the number one thing that I see, in my opinion, as a biologist, I look at a piece of property, especially in the state of Alabama, the number one thing everybody is lacking on is quality brood rearing habitat. And like Jeremy said, the juxtaposition of where these things are is extremely important. Mm-hmm. Okay? But if you don't have it at all, your chances of raising birds for consecutive years are almost zero. Because
you're already looking at an animal that only
that's
why
about
everybody's
20%
like, anyway.
And I was just with a guy the other day, great guy. I'm trying to help him on his property. And he's an older gentleman. And he's like, man, poked sticks. What we're going to do is doggone fire ants. We ain't never going to have any quail or rabbits and stuff again because these doggone fire ants. And I was like, well, yeah, they're pretty bad. I just went on with it, but it's like, man, yeah, fire ants, they'll get on a little rabbit, they'll get on a little turkey, a little quail, a little whatever, but
it's the least of your problems.
We get in a real deep conversation with somebody. My question always is, all right, do you think, and I always go back to Texas, I always will in different topics, but do you think there's more fire ants here or in South Texas? And they just look at me and go, well, I don't know. I said, there's lots of fire ants and other ants in South Texas.
Ants that tote you off.
Yeah. And all right, do you think there's more coyotes and bobcats here than there is in South Texas? Well, I don't know. I said, there's probably a lot more in Texas. And guess what? A lot of places down there, especially in South Texas, have extremely fantastic habitat. And it is full of quail and turkey. Your habitat outweighs all these negative things. And if you don't have that nesting and brood rearing habitat to at least get those birds up to past the quail or baby turkey size for those first month to 3 months, you're not going to have any. That that's just, shut the book on it.
I think everybody wants to find another creature to put the blame on.
Yeah, they have to.
Instead
snakes are eating.
Yeah,
well,
instead of lack of management.
Yeah.
Well, and we've talked about this on the podcast a lot.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that they can't have effect. Okay, hogs. I'm a firm believer. Hogs, in really high densities, have a huge impact on. Let's quantify it. It's not easy to do, but they do, without a doubt, have a detrimental effect on wildlife populations in certain areas. So anyway,
but we've talked about it before on the podcast a lot, is that a lot of decisions that are made, especially management decisions, oftentimes are done with emotion. Like they're emotional decisions, like trapping and you know what I mean, and like killing every coyote that you see. And like it's like because that feels like I'm making a difference. You know what I'm but it's like, okay, well, how about this? How about if you didn't put quite, I'm not telling you not to trap or not to manage predators, but it's like if you took half the resources that required that and you poured the monetary resources into like burning or doing something like that, your predators won't, like you said, are not as big of an issue at that point.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so, but if that doesn't feel, you know what I mean? You don't have the emotional, like,
you don't have a.
You've got to have a boogeyman.
Yeah,
Right,
you don't have a
exactly.
picture of 10 dead coyotes on the tailgate and feel good about it. I mean, it's just like, hey, trust me, I've dealt with it a lot. If you ever watch, y'all know who I'm talking about. Coyotes are not your problem. They can be, but they're not
generally.
always the problem. The reason you don't have turkeys or we don't have fawns or whatever, it's generally always something in that chain of quality habitat that animals need throughout their life cycle, be it a doggone woodpecker, a quail, an elephant. They all creatures on this earth have to have habitat
Of some type.
that they are evolved to use to be successful and procreate for the next generation. And it just so happens that what we're tuned in here to are turkey, deer, quail, whatever, those big ones. And it's just like everybody's missing the boat. And here's what's awesome about this is the people that aren't missing the boat that we work with and the clients,
They don't have a problem.
oh, believe me, they're not missing the boat. They're like, I don't care. And, some of them have money, some of them don't. Some of them have a lot. And they're like, I don't care what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
You make it right so these things happen and they're happy.
Well, y'all have both been
Those
to,
people are really happy.
y'all have both been to the property that I manage here in Marshall County, and love those guys, Eric and Jay. You know I'm talking about you guys. But after I sold that tract to them, we met and talked and went through kind of everything. And the first question they asked me was one that I rarely get. If this was yours, how would you do it? If you wanted just a phenomenal place to hunt. And I laid that out for them, and they said, okay, do that. And so now they give me almost all autonomy to make decisions other than big expenditures.
Sure.
If it's landscape-based management, then they're like, yeah, if it's right, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll not interject here just a touch, but I feel like you're seeing more and more landowners coming up with that answer.
You are.
They're like,
but that
I
was
don't care.
that was one of the first ones I encountered that did that.
And I was blessed in Texas to have a boss that was he was like, look, you're the professional.
See that's what's
I'm
different.
not.
That's what's different from Texas than most any other part of the country.
Yeah.
Especially here in the Southeast. It don't matter who or how much wildlife management work you do and how successful you are at it. By and large, the populace is like, oh, I can do anything he does. I can pick up this magazine and read an article, and I can go recreate what they're talking about in that article.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can't.
You might could do a portion of it.
Right.
But if you can't see that big picture, that's our job. What's going to happen down the road versus what's been happening down the opposite way behind you. When we're right here, how to make things go the way they need to.
Well, that is one thing, and that's a really good point. I think even here we are doing podcast, articles, podcasts, little short videos, little clips. We're all in this business that we're all doing them, but you're down at the let's talk about it at the flight level. Okay, we used to talk about that in big business, but you're probably looking at anything that's going on at 1,000-foot level. Okay, what it takes to get it right is the 30,000-foot level. You have to see all the pieces on the board.
Right.
And a lot of folks are getting good information, but they don't know when exactly to do it and how those pieces play into the bigger puzzle.
Well, that's right. And I was going to say it takes some trust on both ends.
Yes.
Like if a client goes, hey, man, I just want to ask you a few questions. I kind of want to fill you out and see if you know what you're talking about. And then you can make a recommendation for me. Mm-hmm. You make a recommendation, and I go, I don't know. I've not really heard anything like that before. I've not read any articles that would back up what you're saying. Like, I'm not sure about that. But like you have done, I know I'm not going to say the guy's name, but I've asked you before, I'm like, do they ever ask you questions? Do they ever push back when you make recommendations or whatever? And you go, in the beginning, they did. Mm-hmm. But because I've been able to prove that this works, I don't get nearly as much pushback now. Mm-hmm. When I make a recommendation, it's like, well, you know what? The last 3 years of stuff that you've recommended and we've done have seen good results from. So I just trust the guy knows what he's doing.
That's right.
I just trust that he knows what he's talking about. So I'm just going to go with what he says.
I'm not the only one that's good at this stuff.
No, but I'm just saying that's an example like a real world example of like someone's going, I don't know if I'm willing to sign off on the whole plan that you want to do for the next 7 years.
Mm-hmm. But let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this, and let's see how that goes. And if, as long as that goes for anything, I mean, I'm in marketing. I have to prove my worth every day.
Yeah.
If people can't see the big picture of what I'm trying to do for them, they cut me loose, you know. So
and one of the hardest hills for me to climb, and it's not every biologist, forester, whatever, land manager don't go into it this way, but I am always looking at what forest resource they have to assist in helping fund their wildlife improvements so that it's not capital outlay. And so everybody's walking around, with me, and I'm talking, you need to do this with this timber stand, this with that one, burning it. We're like, well, we didn't know you were a forester. Well, I'm not. I can do most anything.
Guess what?
What?
The wildlife live in the forest.
Exactly. Exactly. So really, my first step, and I really kind of hate to say this in front of all the foresters out there on the old interweb here, but the first thing I'm looking at is always the timber, because I can't get what I need on the ground if I got trees over the top of it.
Yep.
So that's always my first look, and time again, that's the first thing that needs to be done. But those landowners don't trust you with that big of a what they deem as a risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure.
We got a couple though.
Oh Lord,
one I'm working intimately with.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
I mean, he's ready to go, because think about an hour or two with me, he realized he'd been. We've probably touched on that before, but he'd been sold the cantaloupe, told it was a basketball or whatever. He was completely bushwhacked on that deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
No, that's good stuff, though. That's the first question. So, second one here, kind of playing off that first one, nesting success, right? What does ideal nesting cover actually look like on the ground, and what are are most landowners getting wrong there?
That's hard to do without going outside.
Yeah, look, that's a tough description, but let's sum it up this way. Everybody knows if they've disturbed their timber stand, and disturb means disc, mow, burn, thin timber, a lot of different ways to disturb it. Turkeys show a significant decrease starting at 3 years post-disturbance, and at 4 years post-disturbance, they're shown to almost completely quit using it, other than some occasional nesting on the side, because
but
it
not
gets
in it.
Yeah, because it's so thick they get caught by predators in it. They need little thick patches, but they also need to be able to navigate it without being caught, especially by bobcats. They are very effective at catching turkeys and stuff like that.
I mean, I have a lot to add. I mean, a turkey.
I mean, like, can we talk about
is
like plant, like vegetation height, or is there specific
It's
vegetation that
more
you're looking
makeup
for?
of the vegetation that you've got.
it's a
if you're
unique structure.
yeah,
of it.
if you're walking through there, and or a stand, whether it be a grass stand, timber stand, or as Bray likes to call it, a full timber field.
Sorry, Bray.
Okay, sorry,
Timber
got that little
field.
poke. Like if you're walking through there and you're having to wear briar chaps, they're not wading through that. A deer will. A turkey's not going to. You won't. I mean, my perfect makeup is you're going to have vegetation anywhere from knee to waist high, and you're going to have patches that are a little more open, and you're going to have a makeup of 30, tops 40% grasses, and the other forbs. And you do need tree cover because it needs to be, I'm going to say thermal cover. It could be bushes or it could be big trees, either one. They've got to have some shade. They can't overheat.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they have to have that structure, and like I said, the shade. And I'm not going to break in and say I'm a turkey nest specialist. I know what turkey habitat, habitat it needs to be. Like he said, the best is early successional, like he just alluded to. Will a turkey nest in a 100-year-old wide open hardwood stand?
If that's all they got.
Yes, and will there be a little patch of something or greenbrier in there they might could hide next to, and it be called quality? Maybe, the nest might be quality.
Well, look, we're not.
Is it going to be successful?
Yeah, we're not 100% sure whether this hen was nest or not because we didn't want to bother. But the one that was up there when we were hunting with Landon, there's a hen up next to a 250-year-old tree. It's a
oh yeah,
couldn't begin to reach around.
Oh
it.
yeah, it's a oak this big in the middle of what 250 acre field. It's row crop field now. It's barren because they've burned it down. They've sprayed it and they're planting it. And there's two giant trees sitting on a hill, and there's a hen laying at the trunk of that tree, and there's a little cedar bush about that big, and she's sandwiched right between the two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's likely it was a nest, but we don't know that
We didn't
for
want
sure.
to bother her because of that reason. But that's the thing.
It's just where she had.
Yeah. And hey, if she hatches those eggs out there, she probably had the wherewithal to go, you know what? Nobody ever comes out here.
Yeah.
I got some cover and thermal. I'm good. But, the hen has to not only regulate the temperature, she has to regulate the humidity of those eggs. She has to turn them, so she's got to be moving around. She has to have a little bit of room to move. Generally, there's no direct cover right above her. Now, there's going to be some woody or something generally off to the side, and like he said, herbaceous type structure, vertical structure of some kind, and enough, leaf fodder, something that she can kind of just make a bed and lay those eggs in. But, a turkey will nest in a lot of places, but early success was at Harper, Lindsay, and they did all that study, and, they tagged them, and 90%, they will all use that early successional, highly herbaceous, young woody plants that have some shade. That's the stuff that, predators have a hard time finding it. They got thermal cover. That's what they want. A hayfield knee deep in ryegrass, not what you're looking for.
But they will nest.
They will nest in that. Yeah, fence rows. Everybody used to say, man, quail, boy, back in the day, everybody had a fence row with pogan, sagebrush grass in it, and man, just quail everywhere. Well, nest of a quail's about that big, and they have evolved to nest in sagebrush, basically grass, native grasses, and they probably could. Turkeys will use that, but if that's all they
stick out a little
have,
more.
right?
Well, it's kind of like deer in the Midwest. It's like, we've talked about it on here before, but I'll never forget my first time going like to Illinois, for the first time, hanging stands. Like, we're going to put a stand in that strip of woods is 30 yards wide and it's 175 yards long, and we're going to put something in that. You'd never do that down here.
The woods they
it's
got.
like, that's all they got, man. You know what I mean? So they're going to use it. So I feel like this straight up just a theory. I could be dead wrong about it, but it sounds like at one time there was like great habitat, and that's what got the population there. And then at some point that habitat degraded, and now they're still there, but they just have to use what they got, at some point.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, and people want to point fingers, like the guy that said that hopefully everybody knows what a fellow buncher is, but the giant machine that they cut trees down with. Okay,
tree feller.
Yeah, tree feller. Great big machine,
and it can bunch them.
Yep, that was what caused the decline in the turkey population. And then you've got folks that saying, "Well, no, it's not that. It's mechanized farming the way it is now. They spray from fence row to fence row, from ditch to woods. It's not the machine's fault. It's management. It's people. We're making these decisions, and those decisions are based on money.
Oh, sure.
It's generating revenue. You cannot fault people for that, but that is what's happening to wildlife.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the thing, that's where we come in. There's cute little things that you can do that don't take that much effort.
Yes.
To turn that upside down. Field borders.
And it don't take much out of production either.
No. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to flip that script, man. I mean, and a lot of these guys are doing it. They're starting to be, they're like, hey, you know what? This whole deal of not having turkey and quail and the amount of deer and stuff we want sucks. What do we got to do? Make it happen. And it's like, all right, okay. And those that listen, I'm not trying to brag, but generally they start having a positive, result. And like I say, it's not witchcraft. It's pretty straightforward stuff. But if you don't do it, you can keep expecting the same result. And don't hit me. If you call me, don't hit me with, well, my brother's cousin's uncle's sister's nephew read this, and man, he's been doing this for about 10 years, and man, that's really what I heard. That's what I want to try. That's not what I came for. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be a turd. But man, if that's what the road you want to take that road. That's fine.
I think Matt has said it. It's not arrogance; it's experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's the good Lord only blesses us with so many minutes on this earth before we go to our other home. And I don't need to waste yours or my time trying to come help you manage the creation. When you've already got it in your mind, you got a way you want to do it. Well, just do that. And then if it don't result the way then call and get a hold of somebody and let them do what you called them for.
And that ends up being a lot of our clients.
Yeah, because I promise
they've tried things their way.
Yeah, I'm not going to call and say, hey, guess what? This Lexus just broke down on me. But I need you to look at it. But, first I think I'm going to take the heads off. And no, I'm not a mechanic.
Right.
I'm going to call a mechanic and go, something ain't right. I need you to fix this, please. And that's the same mindset I feel like I would have if I was in their shoes. Like, please help. Like, help me get it right, because I'm wasting my time and money on doing things, and I'm not getting the results I want. And ultimately, it's just a never-ending circle of failure. And I'll leave it at that. I've got my pet peeves. Y'all know what they are.
For sure.
And one of them is you got to have 18 cups of coffee in the morning.
And I'm on a 13-ish or so. And
boy, that's an ugly mug.
That is a beautiful
That's
mug.
the best thing that's been in this house.
Two of the sweetest children on the face of the planet bought me that. I'll never forget it.
Oh, all right. Let's do we'll keep talking turkeys and poults and stuff right here. So, number 3, when poults hit the ground, no, Jeremy already talked about this a little bit earlier, but when poults hit the ground, what do they have to have nutritionally to survive, and how do we create more of that? So, said primarily insects.
Oh, yeah. Bugs.
So I guess
Bugs, worms, caterpillars.
on that topic, though,
Nymphs.
when you go about some sort of disturbance, to trying to create more of that, are you trying to get a specific response? Like I want to make as many flowering species out here so we get as many pollinators, as many bugs in here that they can eat, or is it maybe a little of that? Or
well, it's that, but at a specific time as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are trying to get a certain flush of growth, and look, even if it's predominantly grasses, it's still going to harbor tons and tons of invertebrates. So that's what you want to focus on, is getting fresh growth. And look, it's better to be flowering species if at all possible. Not everybody's got that, and you have to transition to that. But you want fresh grasses and flowering plants coming up as poults are being hatched. And you really want that a little prior to. So that's where you'll see folks burning some in the late winter, early spring, just prior to turkey season and nesting and hatch, what have you. Like some of the burning we did down there on Cedar Mountain on the Tennessee River, people like, why are you burning this time of year? Y'all preach that you got to burn everything in the fall for the deer. Well, we didn't burn that for the deer. We burned that because we needed brood habitat.
Yeah.
It was a mile and a quarter timber stand that's relatively narrow, but it borders 3 different structured timber stands along that whole length that are all pretty doggone good turkey nesting. One of them's a little past its prime, and we're going to burn it this fall. But we've got all that brood habitat in one timber stand that's directly adjacent. All it is across the track road, 2-track, from 3 different managed pine stands. That was our purpose.
Yeah.
And I've had a conversation or two with people that are well more knowledgeable than I am about timing and all, the takeaway key point is always don't be scared to burn, don't be scared to do whatever the management activity is that whomever is the qualified person tells you to get done. But if you can burn in the fall, then November, as soon as the leaves get off the trees, it ain't nothing wrong with that. Burn it then and let it get cold, and then guess what? That is going to get the first green up from the winter moisture, whatever. And that really can be that November window, December. Any time of the year is time to burn, but for turkeys, that can really be some of the best time to really get that first green up and get that quality brood habitat come springtime. Because sometimes if you wait till, March or whatever, or you've got that lag time for the vegetation to get where you need it to be. And, but I mean, heck, I'm planning on doing a couple burns in the next few weeks here to try to, get some type of brood habitat, just because what I said earlier, leaves that deep is not brood habitat. And I told them I'd rather get it taken care of, get a clean slate, get some kind of green growth if we are blessed enough. That's one thing. You get fire, you got to get some rain and get the green. You got to get the green up. You got to get these grasses and forbs and herbaceous growth to happen. But so I told that one guy, because he's really concerned about the turkey population on his property. And I said, man, look, I'd rather do that and try to catch some rain and get something, because your property right now, you have no brood habitat, and your neighbors have none either. Yeah, there's kind of semi-okay nesting habitat, but yeah, for brood, they didn't have nothing. And he was like, "Well, let's do it."
Sometimes we run into button heads because you've got folks that are just as equally passionate about deer as they are turkey, and they don't want you to burn during deer season or when it's going to affect their deer hunting. So, as burners, look, there's every excuse under the sun not to burn. At some point, you've just got to pull the trigger and burn.
It's unbelievable how scared or whatever people are of burning wood.
Well, it's funny that when we did the episode with Mark and Misty Brenner, he was talking about how they had left some stuff off of a burn rotation that was right there across from where we were filming. It was literally like 50 yards across from where we had set up, and he said, somebody said something, man, it's a shame they let that go and let it get all grown up like that. And he's like, guys, yes, you need food. Yes, these guys, you got to have something to eat. They need nutrition, but we got to have somewhere to hide, right? We got to have some places for these animals to, when they hit the ground, have somewhere to go and hide from predators and get thermal cover and stuff like that too.
It's kind of all one and the same. You get that green up, you get the native grasses, the native forbs, you get the herbaceous plants, you get that young growth. Your brood habitat come about July. That's your fawning cover. What generally is good for a deer is good for a quail or turkey most of the time, not necessarily, but generally always what's good for a turkey, management-wise, is good for deer. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's...
Yeah, where you have a separation and people... There's going to be people that argue with me, but this is just my personal opinion, and I've seen it. The reason I feel like it,
I just want to be the first.
Deer can do fine for managing for turkeys. Deer can do fine when you're managing for quail. Quail and turkeys don't necessarily play that well together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen
it's okay,
the place that,
but it's not premium.
Yeah, I mean the big place in St. Clair County. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a destination, quail property. The end. Period. We don't care. I mean, the landowner at the time's like, we don't care about anything else. I want a place that is premier quail property, and that's how it's set up.
Yep.
But because there is so much food and there's so much land, it's such a big place. Relatively diverse in some aspects, I guess. There's gonna be deer and there's gonna be turkeys because you can't hardly help it. Something's managed that strict, but it was not intended for deer. It was not intended for turkeys. It was we want quail.
And Cody looked at me a little cross-eyed when I said that too.
Well, I was trying to figure out exactly what you meant because the way you said it.
The way
elaborate what you mean. See if I agree with you.
Turkeys, most people are looking at that 1 to 3 year window of post-disturbance is where they want to fall in. Quail is every year disturbance.
You got to
here.
Yeah.
Not everywhere, but here. They are disturbing those savannas, those grasslands, all that stuff on an annual basis.
If the quail really like open dirt.
It depends on the growth and stuff too.
And it does. And look, and I'm talking strictly really, really highly managed quail plantations where your basal area is 25 to 35, and it's predominant grasses. Mm-hmm. And there's obviously going to be forbs and broadleafs there, but when you're burned the way some of those tracts are burned. It's not as conducive for turkeys as it could be. That's just my opinion.
No, you're not wrong. It's just
Well, I know I'm not wrong, but
it's you're not completely wrong.
there's going to be professionals that agree with
No,
me, and there's going to be those that disagree.
Yeah,
with
1
me.
to 3, but
and that's okay.
Here's the deal with the quail and turkey, and all these, ground nesting species. They need disturbance. You're not going to argue that, but it's so relative to how much growth you get in an annual cycle and the moistures. Like right now, we're in a drought, and we get an inch of rain, and you're like,
that's why I'm saying here.
Yeah, right.
We get plenty of rain, generally speaking. We get plenty of rain. So,
you get fluctuations in it enough to where you could notice in a highly managed piece of property what you would consider failed clutching season for quail or for turkey because of it was too wet,
no doubt,
or it was a little too dry. Because when you get that specific, it's a lot easier to pinpoint. Well, we're doing all this, and we've been seeing X amount of coveys and X amount of, baby quail and poults and all this, depending on quail, turkey, whatever you're counting. But when you get that specific, it gets a lot easier to rate your success or fail rate at that point. But that's where I'm always, if you burn every year to 3 years, and I like to mix, and that's what I did in Texas. I'm like, I burn something every year or so, and then I'd flip it over to here, and just depending on how the vegetation responded, and definitely out there how much rain we got, and that's what I did, all that stuff, and you'd get all kinds of flowers and stuff, but you had to have the rain.
Yeah, and I'll say this: in recent years, I have seen that gap shrink because when I was living in the deep South, deeper than here, South Georgia or Southwest Alabama, or living and working in Mississippi at times, the burn unit size for these quail plantations were very, very large. Now you've seen that drop to actually relatively small burn blocks. And so one of the reasons I have felt that when you do burn on a large scale like that is you do not have the nesting and the brooding habitat in close proximity. And you have less thermal cover for turkeys. Like Cody said, quail making nests this big, and it's a bird that's 6 inches tall,
and the babies are big as your thumb. Yeah,
tall grass is plenty of thermal cover for a quail, and that's not always the case for turkeys.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But there's a lot more parallels to quail and turkey management than there are
differences.
I would agree.
For sure. And there again, right back around.
They ground nesting birds.
Full circle. All you guys, that's the thing that wears me out. And it's a product of where I've been and what I've come full circle to be today as a human and a land manager, whatever. But burning your doggone woods in deer season ain't hurting nothing, guys. I mean, I'm from the old school. I've been deer hunting as long as
wait a minute
anybody.
Now. Have you killed 1,000 deer? You can't go out there and say
actually. This. But I'm not counting. But yeah, I've killed a passel of them. But here's the deal:
big word.
A whole satchel full,
satchels full,
big satchel of them. Guess what? Burning in the fall, it's deer season, ain't gonna hurt nothing. Deer are gonna come to that fire like moths to a doggone one big old floodlights on the front of your house. I mean,
he said moths, like Mothman.
Yes.
I thought he said moss. I was like,
we don't need to get into this.
Moss on rocks.
They'll come to like the moss to grow up on the light there, boy. Good Lord. No, I mean, and I know people out there that might listen to this know exactly what I'm talking about. You want to see a lot of deer? Go out there and set the woods on fire.
Or push up some dirt.
Yeah, or go out there and start logging right in the middle of deer season. You want to talk about, hey, them boys cutting trees out there. Go hang your doggone lock on or your climber right on the edge of where the flagging is, and you watch where they're cutting. Don't shoot the loggers, please, but there's going to be deer running all through that stuff.
The biggest panty burn-ups I've ever heard from hunters revolves around loggers showing up during deer season. And I'm like, fellas, you've lost your mind. Wait till they shut down at the end of the day and go sit right by the equipment that they were just running.
They'll sit on it.
Yeah, and you will kill deer and you will kill bucks. So.
Yes. I don't know. And here's the deal. I don't know why.
They're curious.
I mean, the barn, they're in there digging around and they're getting fresh, nibbling on dead stuff that you just could. Heck, deer probably eating bugs. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Say they ain't. Prove it. But I burned a track Saturday, and I was just 2 days ago. I don't know what day it is. Anyway, I went back Sunday checking it. I'm putting along on my 4-wheeler, and I was lighting a couple of spots that didn't catch up just right. And I looked, and I seen eyes, and I mean they're from me to Jeremy, and I'm like, what the heck? And it startled me, but it didn't. I had the wherewithal to not slam on brakes and go, what is that? And I just eased off the 4-wheeler and I looked, and there's just a blow down there. And, it was high as a coffee table, but I just seen eyes and the head moving. There was a daggone buck there, and he had pedicles that big around with, little mushrooms already that big.
You can't, if you're not watching, you're just listening. He had his hands up like a 3-liter Coke bottle.
Yeah, about like a 3-liter. Yeah, pedicles about big as a one of them little cast iron egg pans, But he had some moon pies on his head, and he was 5-6-year-old deer, and he just licked his nose and kind of looked at me, but he was laying in the black, and the log he was laying next to was still on fire, smoldering, and he was just like, I'm good with this. Ain't no ticks in here.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
He was just chilling in it right there in that fire, stuff burning all around him.
All right, last one here, fellers. We'll get to this one. Common mistakes. What is your opinion, of course, what is the biggest mistake you see landowners or hunters making in the spring that hurts turkey populations?
It depends.
What we see them doing?
I'll give you. I've
or
got
the lack thereof.
That's what I was going to say. It's not what they're doing; it's what they're not doing. Is what I was going to say. But
yeah, it's definitely lack thereof. Yeah. With the caveat, one of the worst things in the world is dadgum hay mowers. And look, I do it every year, but we don't have a dadgum turkey nest to cut up. Okay,
That's true.
The biggest problem. Biggest mistake they're making is blowing crow calls.
You got that right.
No.
Not actively managing the resource.
Yeah. Having the wherewithal to say, all right, man, I don't want to go down that road.
Spit it out.
Me and
I
you.
just wanted to finish a thought.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a controversial son of a gun. I don't want to do it.
That's fine. Matt's not here.
It's not bad, but it's just like you and I right now. I mean, we're biologists. What we do, but we got properties that we're working on, and we're like, but we can look and see that. And I'm not saying there's probably tons of guys out there that can, but you can look at that and go, boy, we burnt that 2 years ago. Or it's about time to burn it again. But we're going to give the birds every chance they got, because right now, just right now, we are at the pinnacle. Like, this is it. Like, they should be hatching anytime or sitting on the nest, incubating the eggs. So, yeah, that's kind of always been my deal, and I've got in trouble and got fussed at. We don't bush hog late March, April, and early May. I generally you know, like I said, I just did a burn. I'm burning in areas where I walk up and look at it and go, if there's a turkey nest in that,
Something's wrong.
Man, there's not a high likelihood that a turkey's, if they're going to have a nest in it, it's most likely not going to be a successful one.
Right.
So picking and choosing and doing the right thing and understanding when to leave the bush hog in the barn until, hey, you know, give it till June 1 or something. Give them just this little window, but, and then it all comes full circle. That's like I told that guy the other day, you know, you can do whatever you want to or not. It don't matter. Not trying to be a jerk. Not saying you might not raise a clutch of birds, but the chances are not very good because you have a hayfield, or actually two, to the tune of about 50 acres of hayfield. That's down. It has no cover. It's got some ryegrass and a little bit of pretty poor clover in it, and you've got big woods, big open hardwoods with knee-deep leaf litter in it. The chances of you getting off a successful clutch is not very good. So, yeah, I think if anything, burning that, at least we're setting him up for next year. Getting something going.
Get the ball rolling.
Right. But yeah, you know, just well, like at Greenbrier, now, Mr. Israel's place, you know, the places that you're working on, you got this established. And if you got a management program, it's like, hey man, leave it alone right now. If you run over and where I'm trying to think. I can't remember. I've been going so many properties lately. I was looking at one the other day and the guy's like, oh, you know, he's like, no, we really don't. I was like, well, it's not bad looking property. You know, it's not great, but he's like, well, we don't have any turkeys. No, I want more. Well, what should we do? I said, here's the deal. It don't look great. I was like, but right now, from what I hear around here, there's not a lot of birds. There's some, but let's give it till we'll do this in the late growing season. Just that way, if you've got any nests around here, maybe they'll hatch some. You know, and we won't burn up what few you do have. So, you know, it's just taking into consideration it depends on where you are and how your property's being managed, but doing stupid stuff like, you know, hey, that fallow field out there that's 2 years old, it looks ugly. I'm gonna go bush hog it just cause
today.
Just cause the way you feel about it, you don't like it. Yeah, we got a lot of snakes around here, and your house is a half a mile from it. It's like, man, just leave it alone for 3 more weeks. You know, so that's one of my pet peeves, but I don't matter, but it's just something to think about.
Right.
Because if you ruin that nest, they have zero chance.
That is correct. They got to hatch out.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that's about got us through. We're almost an hour and 15. So
spring things we ain't finished.
We got all kinds.
We ain't got on crappie yet.
No,
we ain't.
I've already. I got on some crappie at the lake that couple weeks ago.
We had
Appreciate the invite.
Yeah,
and the fillets.
Well, we didn't catch enough to fillet, and didn't catch big enough ones to fillet. They're whole. The only ones that we did catch.
Were they legal?
We're able to get 6. I mean, they're they made the 9-inch mark. So,
man, we got to take this man fishing.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to take me fishing.
That's right.
And Ben either.
But
I'm fitting to go.
We're about to go under the bridge with a cast net.
There you go.
Catch some minnows.
Fillet them minnows that we pull up.
That's right.
Come find us. What the?
Come catch us, rejects.
Oh gosh, don't even.
Oh me.
Won't give that guy any more clout.
No.
Anyways, well, y'all.
It's more like,
woo. Yeah.
Just do that. Hey,
come get me, reject.
I'm convinced when they're on like that, they'll gobble at anything.
oh, they will.
I've heard them gobble at thunder, shutting the truck door.
Thunder's like one of the number one things that they will definitely go.
Boom.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Train horns, ambulance.
Yeah. I remember when we were 17. I don't know what I ever did with that old Palmer's hoot tube. That thing sounded decent, but man, I pulled my box call out this morning and started to leave it. I don't use that thing much.
I'm gonna give the crow call manufacturers a bit of advice. You need to start selling your crow call with a 3-pack of reeds.
Because they're going to shred.
They
the
gonna
first one.
blow them son of a guns
You got
out.
that right. I don't know what you can make them out of, titanium or something. God, that bird I was on, I don't know what day it was, day before yesterday morning. God, something was fired up, and I done call one in, and it was a big bird. He come in, he said nothing, and I didn't pull the trigger on him because I couldn't really tell if it was a big bird. And these other birds just hammering right down the gun barrel. And I wound up seeing him at about 100 yards sneaking off through the timber after he'd seen me. And he was a big bird. He had a beard, and these others just hammering. And then all of a sudden, ha, 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 ha. They start slowly going the other direction, and I'm just like, you realize a crow call don't call turkeys
That's
up,
a
right?
locator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Well, look, we talked about it till we're blue in the face in the woods. Me and Cody, the experience that we've had on private ground this year, and albeit they're not tiny places, they're all hundreds of acres.
yeah.
But I think you're better off from a pressure standpoint and a decent hunter standpoint being on public land.
Yeah, I have made that comment several times in the last few days, and I mean it. But look, we go back. I've hunted public for years. I know what to expect. Okay,
Yeah.
I know it's going to happen. But I will say, for the people out there that hunt public land, I'd say at least 75% of them.
Got pretty good wood ethics.
They do, and they have the wherewithal generally. And there's usually, most places, enough property and the resources managed well enough that there's birds pretty well scattered out most everywhere. If they see your truck parked there, most people's going to at least go on down to the next place and look for one. You know, it's, and they hear, you know, I guess it's because we've been there. You hear a gobbling bird, you walk up in there, you start approaching it slowly, and you try to set up on it. Well, dang, I already hear two people calling. Most of us that have the wherewithal and the woodmanship are going to be like, okay, I need to bow out of this and let these guys are already trying to get this to happen for them, and I don't want to be the thing. Mm-hmm. And most, not all, but most guys out there have that common courtesy, especially turkey hunters. Now, like I said, I have not hunted. I'm not that mad as much as I used to. This new generation of turkey hunters on public land, I don't know. Maybe y'all can make some comments what you're seeing out there, because, I mean, used to, I grounded out on national forests usually. Sometimes, you know, WMAs. That was my deal, and you know, I don't have the time. I don't have the drive to try to do it like I used to, and I am
Talking like that, there's no way you're gonna kill 400.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to settle for 350. I mean, 400 really.
That's a lot
for those out there. Let's just say this, like you said earlier today, sharpen your pencils and start figuring on that.
That's a lot of states being hunted.
A lot of states are
limited out.
Or these boys been going to New Zealand, one or the other, because the math just don't add up.
Yeah.
Because I've killed a lot of birds, and and you start reaching in that 500 mark, you've been buying a lot of licenses somewhere else.
Yep.
Or there's been a lot of, shall we say, because he's probably gone on, maybe not, I hope he's well, but he'll laugh if he ever does hear this. There's been a lot of John Adcocking happening.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
There's been a lot of John Adcocking going on.
One of our old school turkey hunting buddies.
Yep.
From back when we were in college.
And back in the day when he didn't give a what nobody thought.
He was going wherever the gobbling bird was going.
He had 20,000 acres, and he meant to let you know, I leased this out for deer hunting. I probably shouldn't say all this because we said his name.
Yeah.
Hey, the turkey hunting, man, I know who's turkey hunting all that land, and it's this guy. And like I said, he liked me enough. He let me go once or twice. I didn't kill anything. I was 18, but he'd tell you straight up.
Nope.
I've been having a pretty bad year, son. Been having a pretty bad year. I ain't killed with about 27.
Well, look, hey, I know some guys that I won't mention names that I know for a fact they were notching in the 30s a year in their belt.
That's a bunch
in
of
Alabama.
birds, man.
Here's the deal.
For a fact.
It's one of these. Could I do it? Absolutely. Am I going to? Absolutely not.
No.
First of all,
I don't go enough.
I killed 4, and I start feeling guilty sometimes because, I mean, a lot of places we go, you kill 4, that's a lot of birds. I mean, there's just not that many there, and especially if you're killing them off of the same place. We ran into that guy yesterday, said he had 80 acres, and he'd managed to shoot 2 off of 80 acres, and he seemed like a pretty good guy. He's like, ooh, 80 acres. He's like, I done killed 2. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna mess with that no more. He's like, there's still some there, but that's enough. Off 80 acres. I was like, that guy's got a pretty conservative mindset. I like it.
It's better than some.
Well, how are we closing her out today?
Most.
I don't know how to close her out other than just
Uncle Corey
out. Check out the Habitat Network if you are either in need of professional habitat services or if you're a professional that maybe wants to get on board with that. And we have really taken our time to vet these people that have reached out and make sure that you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you. But so far, so good. It's been all positive, and I've had a lot of fun with it. Just to kind of recap that, if you join the network, it's $45 for an annual membership. That gets you into a network where you've got professionals that span the whole Southeast. We're adding to that every day. You get a private Facebook invite to a private Facebook group where you can ask questions and post pictures and all that kind of stuff. We also host a monthly live stream inside that group where you can participate. You can ask us questions, and we'll get some of these professionals to be a part of that conversation, and they'll answer your questions in real time. So we're actually trying to put together a media library too, and the professionals are writing and submitting articles around a whole lot of different stuff in the wildlife spectrum. So
just bear with us. All of this stuff takes time.
It does. Yeah, it just takes time. So, but check it out. Yeah, thehabitatnetwork.com. You can check out what's going on there, and you can sign up.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing something to kind of promote that a little bit better. It's just the season that we are all in right now is unbelievably busy for everyone. But we've got something that we'll do for maybe a potential giveaway or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but that's about all I got.
And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell land, give me a shout. We've got agents within the Habitat Network as well. Mm-hmm. But obviously, tutland.com. Reach out to any of our highly experienced and qualified agents there. Be glad to help you depending on what part of the world you're in.
That's right. Guys, we appreciate you listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Out.